Hey everyone, it's me again. We're here on page 9 in part 3. Um, it's here we are, May 13th. We're about a month and a half into the lockdown. Well, I should say the lockdown, but we're starting to ease up whatever the restrictions were supposed to be, which nobody was following in the first place. But, I'm still hoping all of you are okay out there and staying healthy and not getting sick. I don't really want to see anybody becoming one of the statistics. And like to think we could get people, we kind of let people go back to work and start getting back with their lives. Oh my God. While kind of keeping precautions in place. The idea is sort of that there's got to be some middle ground to trying to keep the virus from spreading without killing people's incomes and that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll get it right, but um, invert. Okay, select, shrink. Okay. So yeah, if you're, I know I'm pacing these videos to come out sort of regularly, so you're not really getting a feel for the time that's passing on my end. Um, I gotta cut this one. There we go. Select none. But it just feels like, yeah, I don't know what it is. So it's like this video, you're gonna hear me kind of whining and making excuses and all that sort of stuff. But because it's been like a week and a half, and here I am on page 9. I'm not even halfway through this part, and it should be done. It's just like everything that's happening, I guess, or I should say, not happening, or whatever. Is it's like it feels like it's getting to the point where it's just wearing on me, and I'm like, and it's that too. I've always been like one to procrastinate and put off to the last minute, so it almost feels like this is, um, I guess it's kind of feeling more like, let's see what we got here. Glare. Glare seems to be one of my favorite catch-all, but it feels like this is getting to be more work than fun. But so it's just like the procrastination is driving me nuts. I am going to page 40. I mean, picture. Oh no, I'm on picture 43. Okay. And it's just like the whole, I don't know, I guess because the world has come to a stop, it's like you just kind of, you just start to feel it. And it's what's worse is, at this point we should be feeling like it's summer. It should be like shorts and tank top weather, but it's just been like below normal temperatures pretty much since the coincidentally since the whole coronavirus thing started. Let's see, what are we gonna say here? Oh shoot, caps lock, damn it. Sorry, we. ran away like cockroaches. They ran away like cockroaches, running from whatever it is. Cockroaches run away from. The idea is it's the whole cliche of cockroaches from a burning building or whatever it is. But it's like he's supposed to be like kids, so I want to get the feeling that they're not really that they really don't really know what they're saying. So it's gonna kind of botch that. Uh, Running away from whatever it is cockroaches run away from. But what was I saying? Yeah, it's also it just feels like I'm just tired. It's like the world coming to a head. It's like my head is just kind of like entering into a fog. It's just kind of like all the time. You just feel like just feel like that all the time. Like and I think too because it's like I think because I'm parsing these out. Um, I've had scheduled the first one to post this past weekend. I've got to put up the second part for this coming weekend. So it's like in my head, I've told myself I've got till not this coming weekend, but next weekend to get this part done. Like, oh my god, it just feels like I can eat into the lead time. And normally here I do like a depth of field sort of effect, either layer this and blur the background, or uh, try and get the camera to do depth of field, depth of focus, whatever it is. See, I'm just like tired, but but I think because I've got the wall here, which isn't that far behind him, I can kind of get away without doing it. Not really get away, but at the end of the day, there isn't going to it's not really going to add anything to the image. There's not going to be much that ends up getting blurred, so to speak. Scale 34. But on the flip side, I think if you watch some of the other videos, um, images have been taking a long time to, or a lot longer than I'd like. Not a lot longer, but they're taking longer than I'd like to render. And this particular scene here, where I've got the gym with my so-called night light setting. It's these pictures aren't taking long at all. So let's see if I can show you. So yeah, you see 1 minute 20 seconds it took to render that one. Whereas like if you watched in I think with Teddy Bear they were taking 5 minutes or more per layer in that one, and even in this one with some of the other sets I've got, they've been taking about 5 minutes. So it's always like that's kind of where it starts eating away at the motivation, is when you've got to stop and pause and wait for it to catch up to you. We're catching, so paste as new layer. So, um, invert, shrink. So in the other videos, you would have seen me doing this while waiting for the next image to render. But here, like I said, I'm not even getting 2 minutes before the image is done. So, I'm just going to go ahead and trim this down before moving on. Just because if I don't, I'll end up getting to the end of the page and it'll just kind of become rote and boring. And you know what? I saw this a minute ago and a few minutes ago and didn't even think, but I want to get that A to the next line. There we go. And let's save. Um, and this is going to be sort of a weird um, sequence to work with because I have him at the door. So it's, oh my god, there we go. Delete those keys. Control D will bring him to the floor, sort of. I think we're going to delete keys here too, right? Okay, the 1 foot. And D again? Yeah. So I had him getting beat up at the door. Excuse me. And since he's in the door, in order for Rusty and Elliot to go inside, he would have to get out of the way. But I'm not sure I'm ready for the other characters to see. So we're going to have the conversation, or this initial conversation at the door. Delete. And now we're just going to make this look pretty. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to see this anyway. Let's see. Down. I have ice. Come on. Head. And it's, I think, too, with everything locked down, it just feels like there's sort of less to talk about. It's like you almost feel like I'm running out of conversation in making these videos because you're just like staying home, avoiding the coronavirus, that sort of thing. No, I want Control C, edit, paste as new layer. That's okay. You know, but okay, I'll leave that like that. I don't know how many of you out there are sort of like me, where you've got the attitude in the back of your head that like, yeah, I'm not gonna get this. You know, it's not going to affect me, or you know, if or like if I do come into contact with somebody, you know, I'm going to be one of those asymptomatic people who never know I got it. That sort, you know, that sort of attitude. It's like, you know, like the spring breakers back in March. And we're just gonna go, or like people who took cruises in March, like after after we were hearing about the cruise ships, like becoming hotbeds of coronavirus activity, and for some reason people like still decided to book cruises afterwards and go like take their cruises. Nah, nah, this cruise won't get the coronavirus. But you know, I think like, you know, even if like you're probably like me and you have sort of elderly relatives still out there that you're thinking about and like kind of really hoping they're not um, you know, having to face it, you know, somehow they're staying safe, and you know, you kind of have that like that sort of dynamic. You know, I'm not going to get it, but I'm still thinking about like people, still thinking about like people who could be getting it. Cut. But what am I doing? Edit paste as layer there. Invert shrink by 1. I just blanked there for a moment. Okay. But oh, let's call ahead. Uh, t- 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 what I want for an expression here. No, this one. 5. Render that one. You know, let me think. Let me get this. Like even if you kind of have that attitude like I do, I just started this thought and now I'm gonna break for it. Yeah, there were a lot more of them than. Um, I think even like if you do have the attitude, I think all the focus on like the potential of mass deaths and like the fear surrounding it. Control C. Um, I think it should still be like it should still be a reminder for us. Tell me I didn't mess that up. Okay. To kind of say things to loved ones that maybe we haven't thought of saying before, or or kind of telling people how we feel when we just assume they know. All those things that you end up wishing you had said to somebody like before they pass. And in this day and age, we should all be like taking a moment and just sort of record messages to the people we love and just have them set aside and um, sort of left for after we pass. If God forbid something happens to each of us, you know, even if we don't expect it to be the coronavirus, we could end up just getting hit by a bus tomorrow, or whatever. Something can always happen, and it let's see, it really would mean a lot to the people we leave behind, to have sort of a message from beyond the grave, so to speak. Sort of one last thought after we're gone. In this day and age where it's so easy to record something and save it somewhere or whatever. It feels like there shouldn't be, and it feels like everybody should be doing, um, not that, but even if we can't say it, um, even if like we can't kind of bring ourselves to say something, sort of in person or whatever, it's it would be nice to have it in reserves, and hear it after we're gone. And it's, even if we expect that we'll live like a long life after recording it, we can always either add to it or, re-record it later on. I mean, sort of change it as sort of our feelings sort of mature, etc., etc. I mean, we can always change the message later on, but it's we should be looking at this, the sort of the fear and the excuse me, all the fear and the hype surrounding this. It should make us take a moment and sort of prepare for our own departure from this world. Which God willing, it's not going to be for a while, but still. I gotta think. Huh? Um, oh, I know where Francis is. I'm trying to think. For some reason, I thought Francis should have been over here in sight, but I forgot. He's over. No, he's not. Where is he? I thought he was supposed to be over here. Where is Francis? Okay. Okay, so I gotta. Okay, so I think I did these scenes in a different set, and coincidentally, he's wearing the same shirt, so I don't have to fix this. And the thing like too we're seeing on the news is with this lockdown. If like people have, the news is, in the human interest sort of part of the reporting on this. The news is always finding like people who can't go visit their loved ones in nursing homes because of restrictions, or um, those people who do end up in the hospital because of this. Their loved ones can't visit, or if God forbid, those who are dying. You're seeing loved ones can't always get into the hospital, or they're stuck quarantining across country, so they can't go in to say goodbye to the people they love before they pass. Or you see like stories of how they've got to, how it's the idea like people saying, people have to like say goodbye to their loved ones on over the phone or over an iPad or something like that because they can't be there in person. And even then, there's really no excuse, to not take a minute and record a message. it's, for that person that's dying and their loved ones can't be with them, there's kind of really no excuse for them to not be able to take a minute and, record a goodbye, tell their children or grandchildren or, brothers or sisters or whoever, what they'd want to say to them if they were there. So maybe their loved ones can't be there with them, but, at least, it's, they should be recording messages. And it's just, I think we take it for granted too much, and then when we lose somebody, we're always kind of thinking of things we'd wish we'd said, or the things that, like, we wish we'd heard from them. And we have the kind of technology today. What am I doing here? And and yet we sit here and we don't, and it's too bad. Um, I'm going into a really sad place here. I don't even know what I'm doing. 46. Okay. Control C. Um, no, I'm just kind of blanked out after that. I mean, I think even if we take the purely selfish route that, well, the old people, if the elderly are so worried about this, then they can self quarantine. At the very least, we should be thinking, it's, we should be thinking about, like, the people in our lives right now, and, like, thinking, like, what if they're not going to make it through this? open his layers. You know, kind of thinking, taking the moments we can, how we can get them. Da, da, da. And I think here, because I'm not 100% crazy on the night lighting, I'm never 100% crazy on the night lighting. I sort of like them brightly lit so you can see what's going on, but what we're going to do is just kind of have him basically give a no. This is there we go. Okay. Let's bring him outside. Uh, okay. Used. And actually, uh, actually, I'm going to bring him in. Let's see, this is the x-axis. This way. I'm going to bring him in a little so I can kind of turn it there. There we go. Let's. No, I want this one. Control C. Yeah, see, this is what I mean about not really having. Ah. Sort of running out of things to say now that I just killed the mood on that one. And I think I can get that. Yeah, that's what we want. I think part of the procrastination too is because I'm really in a position where I want to do Burn Pit next. And I ended up showing you the characters I set up for it in one video. Don't ask me now which video it was. You can go watch them and find out where it is. But like even then, for some reason, the characters just aren't grabbing me. I don't know what it is. Occasionally, I'm still playing around with them, trying to work them into something that does kind of really says, yes, that's what I want to work with. And I mean, this happened way, way back when I really came up with the idea. Sort of around the time before I even started Little Bro, actually. Mocked up a couple of characters um, for the concept. I know I've talked about this before, but the concept grabs me, but the characters I just keep coming up with don't. And maybe that's it too. Is I kind of procrastinate here because I don't really want to get. Oh, hold on. Because I don't really want to get into that one. Characters that don't really excite me. Actually, okay. I was thinking about bringing the text up in here, but I think it'll make the page a little more interesting this way. This big black spot where the ground is supposed to be. That's because the particular lights are messing with the I think the ambient setting. See, and now here I've got two pictures that have to be given the border treatment cut. And it's still, we're like 2 months into the panic shopping and the stores still haven't caught up. Select invert. Yes. I mean, it's like the stores have been like a little better, but like still, how is it you still can't find toilet paper in the stores? Like, are people really burning through that much toilet paper? Jeez. And then it's like now with the outbreak hitting all these meat processing plants hard, now all of a sudden, like, the meat is going um, more than before. Invert. So I think this was the first week I've actually like gone in for chicken and not found it. Despite all the meat shortages, well, all the everything shortages, like, so far I haven't every time I've gone for chicken, like I've always found it. um, what am I doing? Edit cut merge down. Yeah, that's it. So it's not, I'm not out of chicken yet, um, but it was an excuse to like grab stuff to make pizza to make it last to make the chicken last a little longer. like by making pizza for a few meals. One thing you just feel like baking more is just like being stuck at home. You just start about cooking and doing other stuff more. But let's see. Sorry, we couldn't beat a few of them up, but they were so fast. They ran away like cockroaches running from whatever it is cockroaches run away from. That's okay. There's too many of them. I don't want them swarming you like they just did to me. Yeah, there were a lot more of them when they beat me up last month. The cops are on their way. They didn't hurt you too bad. They didn't hurt you bad, did they, Corey? I'm a little bruised. They didn't hurt me that bad. And that's page 9. I'm going to cut out here because I'm kind of tired and just zoning and um, like I really need an excuse to cut out just when I'm like sitting down and actually sitting down and working on this without interruption. It's just like I'm so tired. See, that's what this last week and a half has been. It's like every time I sit down, it's just like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't even focus, and I'm zoning out here. But what I will say before I go, what I kind of haven't been saying is, um, because I'm not sure if I'll do a video, if I'll do another video working with this version of the set, but basically, um, I'll take you inside and show. Actually, hold on. Let me take it off the camera. But it's basically I spent like kind of a full day trashing the gym because if you read the part already, basically they come back from the neighborhood watch and they find both gangs inside the gym trashing it. So it kind of took more effort than I really expected to trash the gym. And even though I've got everything keyframed, so I can just like delete the keys to reset all the damage and destruction, um, I ended up saving this as a separate file, so I wouldn't even have to do that. When it's like I want to get to the part in the story where he's got the gym back together and cleaned up, then I'll just use the regular set. So it's like in here, I wanted to simulate I kind of wanted to show the case broken, so I ended up sending this over to Hexagon and just kind of um, creating a plane in the exact spot where the door is, and then just sort of dividing up the geometry in weird ways, and then deleting things in the middle to give it somewhat jagged, like broken glass look. And I probably should have like made little pieces to have broken glass everywhere, but I don't think you're really going to notice that there's no glass on the floor when you're sitting here reading the book. And similarly, I didn't really want to like that. I know I should have, but I didn't really want to smash the mirrors in the place. I didn't want to do the same thing with the mirrors. So story wise, I'm basically going to have them realize that they came back and found the guys in the gym, and they're going to assume that like they had just started. Like, thankfully they just started, so they didn't get to cause any real damage. I.e., an in-story cheat. But I still get like enough of trashing that it gets the point across. But I'm sure you'll see all that when you get to read the book, and I appreciate it. I hope, like I say, I do hope you're all staying safe out. You're all still safe out there, whether you're taking it seriously or not. As it's do please stay safe, and I'll see you around next time.